Every country has its own way to choose a leader, but what are the differences? Hello everyone, I'm Shimeldan. Today I'm going to talk about the interculture among Korean, China, and American from the perspective of their cabinets, the presidential election system, and the cultural influence. Before I talk about the first country, Korea, do you guys know the incident that 2024 South Korea martial law crisis? It happened on December 3rd, 2024. Yoon Suk-yeol, the president of the South Korea, declared legislative dictatorship to prohibit political activities, setting threats to national security and accusing opposition parties of attempting to overthrow democracy. The National Assembly convened an emergency session with 190 out of 300 members present, and universally voted to terminate the martial law declaration. Throughout this turmoil, Lee Jae-myung, the leader of the opposition Democratic Party, emerged as a central figure of opposition President Yoon's actions. So, who is Lee Jae-myung? In the 2022 South Korea presidential election, Lee Jae-myung was the representative candidate of the Democratic Party of Korea, while Yoon Suk-yeol was the representative candidate of the People's Power Party. In the final election result, Yoon Suk-yeol won 48.58% of the votes, defeating Lee Jae-myung with 47.81% of the votes. The relationship in the 2024 South Korea martial law crisis has been marked by the intense political rivalry, reflecting deep ideological divides within South Korea, which symbolizing the broader struggle between conservative and liberal factions in the country. So, as mentioned above, there are two main political parties, and there are the not important parties in South Korea. The first main party is the People Power Party, we can call it PPP. The second main party is Democratic Party of Korea, we can call it DPK. During the South Korea presidential election, each party will send a representative candidate to run for the president. PPP emphasizes on economic development, which is similar to the American Republic Party, and this party is pro-American stance. The DPK emphasizes on social welfare, which is similar to the American Democratic Party, and this party improved the inter-Korean relations. South Korea operates under a semi-presidential system, which combines elements of both presidential and parliamentary system. In this system, the president is the head of the state and government, elected by the people of a single 5-year term, with no re-election. The president holds significant executive power, including foreign policy, national defense, and the appointment of ministers. At the same time, the Prime Minister appointed by the President and approved by the National Assembly plays a supporting role in administration, but doesn't have independent authority. The National Assembly holds legislative power, can oversee government operations, reject Prime Minister nominations, and even impeach the President if necessary. Although the President holds significant authority, the National Assembly, often controlled by the opposition party, can act as a check on executive power. The rivalry between these two parties has led to frequent political gridlock, corruption scandals, and even presidential impeachments. For example, in 2016, the President Park Geun-hye was impeached. This ongoing struggle between the two factions played a crucial role in shaping South Korean democracy. Compared to a pure presidential system like US, South Korea system includes strong legislative checks on executive power. However, unlike a parliamentary system, the president remains the most influential leader. The hybrid model ensures that while the president has strong authority, democratic institutions still maintain oversight and balance. South Korea and United States both hold democratic elections, but their voting system differ significantly. South Korea uses a direct popular vote, meaning the presidential candidate who receives the most votes nationwide wins the election. In contrast, the U.S. follows an electoral college system where votes indirectly elect the president through electors assigned to each state. In South Korea, voting is automatically for all eligible citizens aged 18 and above, whereas in U.S., voters must register themselves, with rules varying by state. Additionally, South Korea's presidential term is 5 years, with no re-election, while the U.S. president serves for a 4-year term and can be re-elected once. Moreover, South Korea's system is simpler and more direct, while the U.S. system is more complex, with state-based variations and an indirect election process. The election system of America we have learned a lot on our class, so I will not talk so much. As we know, American is the federal system with popular votes and electoral college system for 4 years, 1 term, and each president can be president for 2 terms, which is 8 years. The president of the United States is elected by representative candidates from each party, and in history is mainly the representative of the Democratic and Republican parties. For example, Biden is a representative of the Democratic Party, and Trump is a representative of the Republican Party. So, what are the cultural aspects of American election? The election campaigns are highly commercialized, resembling entertainment events like television. Campaigns may last nearly 2 years and emphasizing on the candidate's policy positions, personality, and public image. Presidents hold significant executive power, often shaping policy through personal leadership. Well, that's the South Korea and American's president election reflects. It is democratic system where the multiple candidates compete in a direct vote. However, China, with its single-party leadership, has a different political structure. Instead of a competitive public election, the selection of China's president follows an internal decision-making process with the Communist Party. Let's explore how this process works. The president of China is elected through an indirect election process by the National People's Congress, which is the country's highest legislative body. The NPC, National People's Congress, which consists of nearly 3,000 deputies, is responsible for casting votes to elect the president. However, in practice, the candidates for the presidency is predetermined by the Communist Party of China, CPC, through an internal selection process. China is not a two-party system like South Korea and United States, but is a multi-party system led by the Communist Party of China. And there is only one candidate for the presidency, and the candidate is not selected from the 3,000 people in the National People's Congress. It's only nominated by the Communist Party of China. After the nomination, the candidate is elected as the chairman by votes of more than 3,000 people's representatives from all over the country. And the voting is by secret ballot. All the candidates nominated by communists in history after 1954 were all successfully got higher votes to be president. So the election method of Chinese president is indirect election. It's not directly elected by all nationwide citizen votes. Before 2018, the president served a 5-year term and only allowed to be president for 2 terms. But after 2018, a constitutional amendment removed 2-term limit, allowing an incumbent president to serve indefinitely. Now, Xi Jinping is the only one president for the 3rd term from 2013 till now, and he was the vice president of Hu Jintao for 10 years before he became president. In China's political system, the 3 positions of president, General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, are generally held by the same person to ensure a high degree of unity in the leadership of the party. The state and the military. Now, the president holds the top roles in the military and the party. China implements a multi-party cooperation and political consolidation system under the leadership of the Communist Party of China. The country is mainly composed of Communist Party of China and 8 democratic parties, but they are not important because there is only one party leading, the Communist Party of China, and there are not as many party disputes as in South Korea and the United States. And the central government of China is highly centralized. During the China National People's Congress session, the national media pay attention, but it doesn't become a hot topic for national discussion like in Western countries. Politics is more dominated by the party and the government. Ordinary people do not participate much in daily discussions and pay more attention to their social stability and national development. There is no vacation during the election time, and Chinese public, they always live in busy working environments to earn money and pay more attention to their family, education, work money, and they pay less attention to Chinese public. Many American people will watch the live broadcast of the election and organize activities on January 20th, Presidential Day of the United States, although the election day is not a holiday. Some states in the United States will set the day as a state holiday to provide people with time to vote. And Korea, when it comes to the presidential election, South Korea people pay more attention to political affairs than Chinese and American people. The day of the general election is statutory holiday, ensuring the voters cast their ballots and demonstrating the importance attached to democratic participation. Although most Chinese are not that active involved in the elections in Chinese politics, there is often talk at the dinner table about the process of U.S. presidential election and news of political turmoil in South Korea. They may talk about these things when they are eating, and this allows the Chinese to adopt the different cross-cultures. Koreans and Americans, on the other hand, should avoid talking about some Chinese politics when chatting, because it may tends to cause political sensitives. For example, some Korean artists often cave in because they just talk about the stance of Chinese politics, like the Taiwan problem, and they need to adopt cross-culturally. And South Korea's political problems are mainly between the two parties, and pro-US relations and North Korea relations is more important, the North Korea relations, because the relations between South and North Korea become tense in recent years, and the foreigners who study and travel in the South Korea should avoid public expression of support for the North. Although American politics is relatively open, it also possesses political sensitivities such as bipartisan polarization, such as bipartisan polarization and racial issues. The United States has a fierce rivalry, such as bipartisan polarization and racial issues. The United States has a fierce rivalry between Democrats and Republicans, and for many Americans, it is an identity problem. So we should do well to remain neutral, as well as we need to avoid sensitive topics, such as the affirmative action movement for blacks, the Asian hate crimes, and the immigration policy problem, to fit in with the cross-culture of the United States. In this vlog, we explored how South Korea, China, and the US select their leaders, each shaped by history, politics, and culture. Korea's competitive elections, China's centralized system, and American Electoral College all reflect their unique governance models. Beyond politics, cultural traditions also shape leadership transitions and public participation. Understanding this difference helps us navigate cross-cultural communication and appreciate diverse political systems. What do you think about this? You can share your thoughts after this video. Thank you for listening.